Okay guys, so on this 11.6, what we're doing is we're kind of bringing everything we've learned in chapter 11 together and solving equations with that information. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can go about this. I would go about it finding the common denominator. Now remember what I said. These two numbers have to be the same. So in order to get these two numbers the same, I'm going to multiply the first one by the second one's denominator. So this number, like that. And then I'm going to multiply this one by the second one's denominator. So 3 over 3 times x over 2. So when I do this multiplication, I get 2x over 6. And here I get 3x over 6. And now that they have the same denominator, I can add them up. 2x plus 3x is 5x over 6. And that's equal to 10. So now all you do is, you got to multiply both sides by 6 to get rid of these 6's. And so we're left with 5x equals 60, and divide by 5. 60 divided by 5 is 12. And so x is 12. Okay? So again, this kind of brings together everything we've learned in this chapter. And this is a pretty complicated chapter. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay? All right, let's work a couple more, and then I'll leave the rest for y'all to do on your assignment. Let's go ahead and let's do number 3, because that's a good example of ratio. Okay, so anytime you have a fraction equal to another fraction, that's called a ratio. And if it's a ratio, we can do what you kids like to call cross multiply. So then we could say this one times this one equals this one times this one. So negative 4 times 3x plus 1 equals 5 times x plus 1. Okay? So now just distribute your numbers in. So negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times 1 is 5. Now all you got to do is combine your like terms. So let's move our 5x over here. So that's negative 17x. And move our 4 over here. So plus 4 plus 4. And so x is 9 over negative 17. Okay? Not too bad. So you're doing the same thing on the rest of these. It's really just, if it's set up like a ratio, which most of these are, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you got to do common denominator first, and then you can solve the ratio. And then there's a couple of challenging ones down here. I'll go ahead and work one of those. The back's mostly just ratios. So let me work one of the 2 hard ones down at the bottom, and that'll be it. So let's do number 10. I'm going to go kind of quickly. If you need to re-see something, just rewind the video and rewatch. Slow me down and rewatch. 1 over 2x plus 2. Okay, so here's the first thing you want to do. You want to get your common denominator on this side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take a 2 out of here. Divide both by 2 and pull that out front. That's all I did, right here. Okay? Then plus 5 over that, you should right away recognize as the difference between two squares. Okay? And that's equal to 1 over x minus 1. So, in order to add these two up, this one is missing an x minus 1, and this one's missing a 2. So I'm going to multiply the first one by x minus 1 over x minus 1. So x minus 1 times 1 is just x minus 1 over 2, x plus 1, x minus 1. This whole thing times that. All right, the second one just gets multiplied by 2. So that's 5 times 2, which is 10 over 2x plus 1, x minus 1. I'm not even messing with this over here right now. Just dealing with this side. Now that we have the same denominators, we can add them up. So we have 10 plus x minus 1 over 2x plus 1, x minus 1. 10 minus 1 is 9. So you have x plus 9 over all that. Okay, so let me rewrite our whole problem now. We have x plus 9 over 2x plus 1, x minus 1 equals 1 over x minus 1. Okay? So now we need to do what? We have a ratio, so we can cross multiply. So we have x plus 9, x minus 1, this one times this one. And then 1 times this is just that. So 2x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay? And so right away, I'm seeing that both sides have an x minus 1. So if I divide by x minus 1, those are going to go away. So then I just left with x plus 9 over here equals 2x plus 2. And now combine your like terms. Move this x over here. So we get 9 equals x plus 2 minus the 2. And you get 7 equals x. A lot of work, okay? That was probably the hardest problem on the whole thing. Okay, so please, if you have any questions, come to Zoom tutorials and I'll help you out. And that should be it for this chapter. Then we'll have a take-home test next week. All right.